everyone, and welcome to today's Knowledge at Noon. This event is called Leveraging AI Responsibility. It is a guide to ethical job search strategies. So today, my name is Jonathan. I work here at the School of Continuing Studies at Georgetown University, and I'm joined by Dr. Lisa Andrews, who is, well, she has several hats, but the main one, at least where we're concerned, is she is the Director of Integrated Career Development here at the School of Continuing Studies, and specifically with a lot of our non-credit options. You're also a career coach, have your own consultant business, and have a bunch of other aspects, and a great baker if anybody wants to know as well. So
yes, that's my therapy. So
so I would say thank you for joining me today. And so without further ado, I'm gonna pass it over to you so that we can get the presentation started. So thank you.
all right, great. Thank you, Jonathan. Hi, everyone. Welcome to your Knowledge at Noon lunch hour, using AI responsibly in your job search. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and let's move. Does everyone have their phone out with the camera ready? We're going to do some Slidos. Take a second, get your camera up. Let's do some Slidos. Before I do that, right. So in many ways, we're kind of building the airplane as we fly it here when it comes to AI and using it in your job search and just using it in life in general, right? This is all fairly new to all of us. I'm a professor at another university in addition to being here at Georgetown. So I know, they're doing a lot of policy changes and that kind of thing to make sure that we're all, on the same ethical page. And we'll talk a little bit more about that, obviously, in this presentation. So moving on. Okay. Please click on or please scan your QR code and join me on Slido for our first poll. How have you used AI in your job search? This is a free answer, so let's see what pops up. I see 2 participants typing. Let's hear it. Wow, 6, 8. None. Okay, we're seeing these pop up. Sourcing jobs. I haven't. All right. None. Interesting. Use it when I sent emails. Same. Interview prep. Yeah. Cover letter templates. That's a dirty word in career development, templates, but okay. Clarify answers, right? Qualify for a job. Automated position matching, interesting. Cover letter and resume. All right, great. Well, we've got some more people typing. Let's wait for a few more answers to come in here. ChatGPT suggestions for target companies. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, creating scripts for visualizations for media campaigns. Super. Schoolwork resume. Absolutely. All right, great. So yeah, it's a part of our lives now. So let's live in harmony with it and try to live ethically with it as well. Interview prep. Yeah, great. All right. Having typed all that in, is it ethical to have ChatGPT write a cover letter for you? Let's hear what you have to say. Let's try this one. Give it a few seconds. A lot of transition here. 50%, 52%. It was 80% at one point. Now it's 52%, 24% no, 24% not sure, 27% not sure. Okay, interesting. So I don't know if it's the vast majority, but 50% of you think, yeah, it's okay. And 50% of you essentially say, nah, or not sure. That's a good thing to think about. All right, let's take a step back and talk about some artificial intelligence milestones briefly. So in 97, the 1900s, I like to say, Deep Blue was introduced and defeated chess grandmaster Jerry Kasparov in a 6-game rematch by 1 point, which I'm not a chess player, but I'm assuming he edged him out, or it edged him out, okay? Then in 2011, we have Watson. You may remember this, that he crushed actually Ken Jennings and Brad Rutter, who are Jeopardy champions. Jennings has the longest winning streak and is now hosting Jeopardy, one of my favorite shows, and Rudder is the game's highest earner with, I think, like $2 million of earnings, and Watson just wiped them off the map. So then in 2016, I don't know if you've heard of this one. In my research, I found this AlphaGo, which was called a narrow AI program, defeated Go champion Lee Sedol in a 5-game match of the ancient complex board game. If you don't know what Go is, I had never heard of it. It's extremely complex with more move possibilities than the total number of atoms in the visible universe. So this is an impressive win. And then lo and behold, November 30th, 2022, ChatGPT was released to the public. This was the initial release. Actually, the formal release was February of this year, believe it or not. And if you don't know, GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. And I must say, when I did my dissertation, I used AI spell check. All right. So it's not just candidates that are using AI in the recruitment process, it's employers as well. And this graphic here indicates how employers are using AI in the recruitment process, all the way at the beginning from the applicant stage to skill assessment once you've been hired. So briefly here, ATS systems. I did a webinar on this last year. It's evergreen. You can see it on our YouTube channel. ATS system, your resume does not see a human being for several steps. It goes through an ATS, which is why your formatting needs to be very vanilla. No tables, no pictures, no graphs, no lines. Just let it get through the ATS and then show them the fancy one when you get the interview. So it's using AI to screen you. It's looking for keywords. It has filters based on what the employer enters in. And then assessment. So it's using algorithms to analyze your data from multiple sources, and that includes social media profiles. So this is a whole other presentation, y'all, but buyer beware when it comes to using social media. Had a client who liked the cover of a romance novel, and the employer said, sorry, you can't move on in the process because that kind of behavior would be embarrassing to our company. So beware of using social media. It's all fair game if it's out there, kids. So they're looking for it. And then in terms of engagement, so a lot of chatbots will engage with you as an applicant. They will just enter in these parameters and the chatbot will do the work for them. They provide the initial screening and answer any FAQs, expediting the process for employers. So one great thing about AI is it kind of moves things forward rather quickly, because don't forget now, when a job is advertised on a rather useless job board, I would say, about 1,000 people have already applied, probably, especially in this DMV area where there's so much competition, so many applicants out there. So employers need a way to just cull through all that, so that's what they're using AI to do. And then you may have experienced this in the interview process. I know I actually have, where you're given a link and you have to do this one-sided video interview, which for me is extremely awkward to just sort of talk to a camera and not have a person on the other side to interact with and give eye contact. But now that I mentioned eye contact, the AI video screening interview system detects eye contact, detects some body language, detects voices. It can analyze filler words, that kind of thing. It detects all of this. It's very sophisticated and becoming even more sophisticated, and will screen you out if they don't like what they see. And then once you're hired, skills assessment. So go ahead and use ChatGPT all the way through on those branding documents. But when it comes to your skills assessment, you said you were an expert in Python and now you can't pass the skills assessment. That's a problem. So there are some advantages, though, to using AI in your job search. One is efficiency on your side. So you can save time. You can quickly generate content, which, of course, then you want to verify as an applicant. You don't want to just generate the content and click submit. But AI can help you tailor your branding documents, meaning resume, cover letter, LinkedIn profile, to point towards specific job descriptions and industries. So I have to be transparent here. There are sort of two coaching, counseling mentalities when it comes to resumes and cover letters. Resumes, I should say, not cover letters. Customization is key for a cover letter. Do you need to change your resume for each job you apply for? I'm going to say probably not, because you probably are applying for multiple jobs in the same sort of area. So you can probably do a keyword search up front and then use one resume for multiple positions. So customize it for each position. Yeah, maybe not necessarily. Maybe so. Certainly nice if you have the time to do it. But again, you want to try to work smarter, not harder, and not have to customize every single thing you do, except for the cover letter that absolutely must be customized. Language enhancement. So for those of you who feel like your vocabulary is not quite up there, you can, use ChatGPT to help you look as a thesaurus, the old paper books, we used in the 1900s. You can use it for that purpose. And don't forget now, a branding document is a writing sample, so they must be grammatically perfect, and they are demonstrating your communication skills, which is still the number one skill employers are hiring for or looking for in a candidate. So certainly write your cover letter on your own, like a big person, put it into ChatGPT, and tell it to correct your grammar if you don't remember from grade school. And interview prep, many of you mentioned that in the initial chat, bot, but don't do this. Let's see if I can get this to work, kids. Watch.
This is insane. Imagine someone in a job interview sat next to you, giving you the answers in real time. Well, that's what we've got.
Can you explain what is the SOLID principle in object-oriented programming?
Yeah, absolutely. So the SOLID principle, I believe you're referring to, is a set of five design principles.
How do you approach debugging?
Yeah, another great question. So I approach debugging methodically. I ensure that the fix is tested thoroughly to prevent recurrences.
Great. You know your stuff.
All right. So, okay, if you want to do this, go right ahead. But what happens when you get the job and you're sitting in a meeting and boss person says, so-and-so, what are your comments on this quarter's projections? And you have to say, will you excuse me for a second while I go out in the hall and ask ChatGPT what to say, right? So again, I will put my judge's robes on right now and say, absolutely unethical to let ChatGPT answer your questions in an interview for you. I'm just going to put that out there. Absolutely unethical to do so. Answer your own interview questions. Oops. Okay. So, and some cautionary tales if you're going to use ChatGPT or Claude, whatever your preference is, for your branding documents. We'll probably get what we call a Mad Libs style branding document, which if you don't know Mad Libs, it was kind of a fun game. I think it's still around. It used to be a lot of fun. You have this story and they take the verbs, the nouns, the adjectives out, and you ask your friends, give me a verb, give me a noun, give me an adjective, and then you fill it in, and then you read the story, and it comes out with this ridiculous story because they have no idea what the sentence structure is. So similarly, if you use ChatGPT for your documents, you might get this like Mad Lib style thing where it's just fill in this, fill in this, fill in this, but it's very generic. In addition, ChatGPT wants to impress you. And if you do upload a description, it often comes back very jargon and keyword heavy. So if you read here, I have leveraged my robust synergy of cross-functional paradigms to maximize stakeholder engagement through strategic ideation and scalable innovation. What? That's just completely unintelligible, and no one talks like that, trust me. And if they do, Also, some misrepresentation and misidentification. This is where the hallucinations can come in. Expert in Python programming for data analysis, machine learning, and AI. This is something ChatGPT will just make up. You could enter your qualifications in there, and ChatGPT wants to make you look better. Or, I believe my experience in scuba diving makes me the ideal candidate for the position of senior software engineer at your company. You uploaded your resume, it saw scuba diving, and just put it in there. So sometimes ChatGPT just gets lazy and it just cherry picks things off your resume and puts it in the cover letter. So buyer beware. All right, here's a little demo, not a live demo. Let's not go down that road with the technology issues I've been having today. So my prompt was write a cover letter for a lead deckhand position on a pirate ship. Now, I'm not going to do my pirate voice today, although I do have a background in theater. So I'll just give you a second to read the first couple of lines. Ahoy, Captain. I be writing to you with great zeal, hoping to claim the role of lead deckhand aboard the Black Kraken, and so on. Now, what's interesting is I didn't ask ChatGPT to write this in a pirate voice. It just did. So ChatGPT has a bit of a sense of humor, but obviously, if I were applying for a lead deckhand position on a pirate ship, I wouldn't want it to sound like this. So what I did is say an additional prompt, please tweak it with less of a pirate voice, but the same content. And then it came up with this. So a little more palatable. I've highlighted that middle paragraph though, and I want to pull that out on the next slide. So before, this is what the middle paragraph said. For the past X years, Mad Libs, I developed expertise in ship maintenance, sail handling, and team coordination, working through demanding conditions, blah, 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 blah. Now, I took that paragraph and pulled it out into a Google Doc and edited it myself. Say that 5 times fast. So what I wrote is, for the past X years, I've honed my skills through hands-on experience in high-pressure maritime environments. While serving aboard the Storm Chaser, I led a team of 6 in repairing torn sails during a sudden squall, restoring full functionality within 2 hours and preventing a projected 12-hour delay. Additionally, I trained over 15 new recruits in proper rigging techniques, leading to a 20% increase in efficiency on deck. These experiences have strengthened my ability to lead, adapt, and ensure the ship runs smoothly, even in challenging conditions. So, and this is what you want to do with a cover letter. You want to tell them give them some results. A cover letter, again, another presentation, 3 easy paragraphs. That middle paragraph is what you're looking for to really say, hey, I have the qualifications, the motivation, and the fit to do this job. And here is why. Numbers, percentages, year over year totals. The numbers jump off the page because I know anyone younger than, well, my birthday was yesterday, me is going to say, I don't want to read a big block of text. Are you kidding me? We don't even talk in words anymore on text. It's like Egyptian hieroglyphics 2.0 with emojis being our sentences now. So anytime anyone sees a big block of text, they're going to panic, especially because a lot of HR people are millennials or below. So they especially love numbers because they just jump right off the page and they don't have to read all these words, right? They can just skip that. So another prompt I put in there, write a little more serious, write a cover letter for a business development position. And I just sort of, for slide room sake, I just clipped part of the cover letter here. And in orange, I have here, again, look at that Mad Lib, put it in the company here and just use this for everything, right? No, not right. I spearheaded initiatives that led to a 25% increase in client acquisition and a 30% boost in revenue within 2 years. That's a great thing for a cover letter. Absolutely. Also a great bullet for the resume. Wonderful. Very results oriented, very, what have you done for you? What can you do for me? However, ChatGPT made this up. So it just invented statistics for the person that would, for me, who was trying to write this business development cover letter, right? Okay, so a better prompt. So my prompt was pretty poor. Write a cover letter for a business development position. Now, a better prompt would be this one. Write a cover letter for a business development position at, I just filled in a company, that explains how I'm a self-starter with a track record of successful lead follow-up and sales development at multiple executive levels within an organization, pre-call planning, opportunity qualification, blah, 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 blah. And you want to upload your resume and the job description, okay? That is a much better prompt, and it's going to not have to make things up because it's going to pull then exactly from what you want it to pull from. All right, so let's move to interview preparation because a lot of you said you use it for interview prep, which is Okay, but again, let's remember that video I played, which hopefully you could hear. So here's the prompt. What are some technical behavioral interview questions for a data analyst position? Now, I just cherry picked some of them. It probably came up with about 15 or 20, and it even categorized them by difficult questions, personal questions. It had 3 or 4 categories and many, many, many interview questions, which as career coaches, they were pretty darn good. And if you read these, here they are. Tell me, this is what it came up with. Tell me about a time when your analysis was incorrect or misinterpreted. How did you handle it? Have you ever disagreed with a colleague or manager about a data-driven insight? How did you resolve it? And finally, describe a time when you faced a data-related challenge you had never encountered before. How did you overcome it? These are tough questions. I think I pulled the weaknesses questions. You know, that question we all hate to get and worry, what am I going to say? I always say dark chocolate when someone asks me my weaknesses. But these are kind of like difficult to answer questions. And I'll tell you, these are questions you could actually get. These are good questions because remember, generative AI learns. So the more people input, and by the way, be careful of your privacy. With the more people input, the better it gets, the more it learns, and the more it can give you better information. Not necessarily 100% correct information, trust but verify, Reagan once said, but it will come up with some pretty decent information. Now, having said that, a little sidebar, I don't plan on losing my job anytime soon, but we'll get to that later. But what's interesting, and in orange, I have highlighted because it's like buyer beware. Would you like help crafting strong responses to any of these questions, Lisa? Well, no, I would not. I want to come up with these star stories on my own. But I decided, okay, let's see how good ChatGPT really is here. I do want you to help me answer this question. Describe a time when you faced a data-related challenge you had never encountered before. How did you overcome it? Now, bear in mind, I am not a data person, although I did just complete the data-driven decision-making certificate here at Georgetown, and it was wonderful. But I had no idea how to answer this question. So I said, okay, ChatGPT, you tell me. Now, you're going to see situation, task, action, and result, AKA the STAR method, which has been taught for ages and eons in career development, but it really truly is the gold standard in terms of how to answer any interview question. Of course, without saying, well, the situation was and the task was, you just work it into the conversation, okay? But this is what it came up with. Situation. At my previous role as data analyst, well, you can read. The task. My goal was to clean and analyze the data to identify key factors contributing to customer churn and present actionable insights to the leadership team. Next, action. 1, 2, 3. It gave me, the 3 actions that I took. Many of these words I don't understand yet. I'm going to take data analytics next year, but I will understand them later. And then result. Look at this. My analysis revealed that a significant portion of churn was due to a lack of proactive customer support. Based on these insights, the company introduced an automated support chatbot and a proactive engagement campaign, reducing churn by 15% within 3 months. This experience not only improved my technical skills in handling unstructured data, but also reinforced my ability to tackle new challenges with research, problem solving, and strategic execution. And if I must say so myself, this is textbook. It's lovely. It truly is. So I was impressed when I got this answer, I must say. As a coach, I was like, wow, there's no way I could even have come up with this. And I've been coaching for now 30 years. This is officially my 30th year coaching. I know I don't look that old, but anyway, I have a good moisturizer. I pay a lot. But then in orange, I highlighted, would you like, ChatGPT asked me at the end of this great response, would you like me to tweak this response for a particular industry or role? Well, no, I would not, but thank you for asking. So, some final thoughts here. AI certainly is a very helpful research and revision tool. But notice research and revision. And many of you said this in the earlier Slido, how you use ChatGPT. It's sort of like the Encyclopedia Britannica, if anyone on this call is old enough to know what that is, right? Where you just get some information. Tell me more about what the great jobs for marketing majors. You can get ChatGPT will give you some pretty decent information, I must say. And also revision. I use ChatGPT for this. Can you please correct my grammar? Although I must say I take pride in my grammar school education, public education. It was fabulous. So if I can say so myself, I have excellent grammar skills. But I do use it. Like, make this a little more engaging, please, or make this a little friendlier, please, if I'm writing an email. I have Grammarly, download it. It's up there right now. I'm sure you can see it on my screen. But I often say, okay, thanks, Grammarly. I like the way I said it better. So, research and revision, perfectly cool. But remember, recruiters can and will find out if AI was used in a document. I know as a professor at another institution, and my husband's also a professor at the same university, and he forwarded me. He was a professor before I was. I got him the job, then he got me a job. We have AI detection tools. There are several out there that professors use. Some of them are known, some of them are not known by students. And I run papers right through them. Well, first, all of our papers at this university go through turnitin.com or whatever, where it's a huge database of every paper that's ever been written, and it judges that paper. And the students see this before they turn it in. But I still get papers with 80% read that they basically plagiarized it from another paper or downloaded it from some website and then copied it. So I use ChatGPT detectors with my students, and recruiters are using them too, because guess what? Recruiters are receiving multiple identical cover letters. Now, I have a prediction. Write it down, everyone. In 5 years, there will be no more cover letters. There will be no more resumes. We're just going to go straight to the LinkedIn profiles, right? Because as coaches, we always tell you, put your LinkedIn profile at the top. Why do we ask you to do that? Because recruiters want you to do that. And guess what? They're probably just ignoring the resume. Remember, they're a lot younger than me, and just clicking right on that LinkedIn profile. And it's so interesting. And if I could write another dissertation, which my husband would kill me, the terminal degree is terminal for a reason. He will terminate me if I try to get another one. So that's why I collect certificates. If I could write another dissertation, though, it would be about the fact that way, way back in the 1960s or so, people put pictures on their resumes because that's what everyone did. Matter of fact, in Europe, they still put pictures on their resumes, and it's perfectly cool over there. Pictures on resumes went out probably in the mid-70s, I would guess, maybe a little earlier, because of, guess what? Discrimination. Because people would make judgments on a person based on what they perceived they saw. Race, gender, ethnicity, whatever their biases were, okay? Well, here we have LinkedIn. And when you create a LinkedIn profile, it says you really need a professional picture in order for this to be optimized. So we're kind of back where we started from in a way, right? We're back to pictures on resumes because employers want to see those LinkedIn profiles. Again, they don't want to see big blocks of text anymore, kids. They want to see little bullets with emojis and lots of space. They will scroll because don't forget TikTok, you're scrolling all day long. Instagram, you're scrolling all day long. So recruiters who are young will scroll, but if they see a big block of text, they will panic, I promise. So they're getting multiple cover letters. And I kind of got off track with LinkedIn. That's a whole nother presentation and dissertation. But again, if you are going to use AI to get through an interview, how will you perform on the job? So think about that. Again, I will put the judge robe on for just a second. AI does have a place, and I think the best thing to do is learn to live in harmony with it, but just beware of it replacing who you are, which is impossible. You are a human being. I am a human being. ChatGPT and Claude, however polite Claude is not a human being and never will be. I don't care how advanced they get. Sure, they might beat me in Jeopardy, but they're never going to replace me, no matter what is out there in the omniverse saying that it will. because you need to beware of hallucinations. So far, ChatGPT does not know it all. It certainly is not Encyclopedia Britannica. It's only as good as, I would say, like Wikipedia in terms of accuracy. Read all about your favorite star, but did they really do X, Y, and Z when they were growing up? You don't know. It's only what someone else reported. You haven't asked that celebrity where they grew up and what their life was like and so forth. So beware of those hallucinations and really do consider the consequences of letting AI write for you and not with you. So in some ways, I feel like, gee, could this replace me as a coach? I mean, coming to me to write your cover letter, of course, I would never write someone's cover letter, but you're coming to me to help me make it better, right? How is that different? Well, I'm a human being. So because you're an SCS student, because you're a prospective, potentially SCS student with us, I invite you to schedule an appointment either with me, because you're an SCS person, or with any other career coach, career counselor, because truly and truly, nothing replaces a human being. ChatGPT cannot read your body language. They can't do a mock interview with you. Maybe chatting they can. They can give you interview questions, answers, but they can't read your body language. They can't read your eye contact. They can't tell you the inflection of your voice is always doing this. Nope. They can't tell you if you sound like a surfer from California or a southerner from Mississippi, or they can't understand what you're saying. You need to be clearer in what you're saying. They can't tell you any of that. So use ChatGPT until you get to the point where ChatGPT can stop, and then come to a human being and do the rest. Okay? So as a part of the career services I offer in SCS, and again, if you're a prospective, happy to talk to you. Absolutely. You can make an appointment, jot down my Calendly link. You get unlimited, free, confidential, lifetime, one-on-one career coaching with me in SCS. And I'm a nationally certified career coach, career counselor. I am technically a career counselor. That's that CCC behind my name. But counseling isn't as sexy as coaching, so I use coach. I also do other career-related webinars. We have a YouTube channel where you can see all of my previous webinars, and I encourage you to look that up, especially if you're having trouble sleeping, put your right to sleep. You also have free access to Handshake, which is a curated online jobs database. But again, just another sidebar, the spray and pray approach doesn't work, kids. You got to be targeted. Work smarter, not harder in your job search. And of course, special events, including networking nights, employer meet and greets, and more. So I see Jonathan came on back. That's all that I have. I appreciate you staying with me with the little technological glitches. And doesn't that just prove my point? Technology has its limitations, right? Of course, it was part human error, but technology sure does have its limitations. So thank you so much for your patience and for listening. And even though I'm a Star Wars person, live well and prosper, or whatever Star Trek is to say.
Yes. Okay. Well, great.
Go
Thank you
forth
so
and
much.
prosper, right? I don't know.
Yeah,
Something
live long and prosper. I'm a
Thank you.
Star
I'm
Trek
Star
nerd,
Wars, not Star Trek. So
yeah.
sorry.
So, and you do the whole thing. So,
Oh, I can't do that either. See, doesn't work.
okay.
So Star Wars all the way. Star
Yeah.
Wars.
So great. Thank you so much. Very much. And I will add, so we're going to do a Q&A here. So any questions, answer, feedback, stuff like that. But before, like I said, I got to pay the bills. So I'm going to market a little bit more here. If you are not familiar here, we are part of the professional education division of the School of Continuing Studies at Georgetown University. We have over 35 different professional certificates that range from executive leadership aspects to skill-based things like project management, data analytics, data-driven decision-making, you said before, to specialized ones like social impact, consulting, branding, so on, and things like infant and early childhood mental health. So we offer career services here through Dr. Lisa Andrews. So any student, she mentioned here, is open to career services in one-on-one career coaching for life. We do also have a selection of professional internships for three of our certificates right now with project management, data analytics, data science. Uh, that is how long is it? It's an 8-week professional internship with a real company from our database, where you'll work on a real world project for this company based on the skills that you received in the certificate that then you can put on your resume. So we do take the certificates seriously as we build them for your future in mind. And so, with that being said, I would love to get into the Q&A. How about you, Lisa? Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Okay, so let's see here. I'm looking at the questions. We have some great feedback here. From so here we go. Let's get to our first question from Stephanie. You mentioned about privacy and AI. Any concerns with uploading resumes to these tools?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up. Thank you. Part of my research, I'm stealing from the University of West Florida in Pensacola, where when I contacted them, there was 10 inches of snow on the ground about a month ago. They did a really great AI career toolkit. And one of the things they talked about is that privacy is a big concern on AI. Never, ever put any personal identifiable information into an AI chatbot, ever. In addition, you shouldn't have that stuff on your resume either. No street addresses. Those are gone. I don't know if anyone's still doing street addresses, but please never any identifiable information. It's bad enough your phone number's on there. They can get you that way, but never put a street address on your resume or branding document, excuse me, and definitely not an AI for sure. Thank you for that question. I'm so glad you brought that up.
I have a question then.
Yeah.
So how would you feel about using like a Gen AI, like a ChatGPT to brainstorm? I mean, you saw some of the questions in there about, specific industries, but like just to get started on my job search and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. You can, I've seen a demo where you can prompt it to say, what are some great careers for marketing majors? And then you can modify that to say, okay, great. And it'll come up with a list. And then you can say, okay, great. What about in the hospitality industry? Then you can say, can you give me the top 10 hospitality companies in the Atlanta, Georgia area? And it will. But again, just verify that, where they are. Can you give me some links to their websites? And it'll do that. And then you can click, and sometimes the website will go to a shopping website. Sometimes the websites are just wrong. So again, trust but verify. But yeah, it's a great research tool, a great if I have writer's block, I go to ChatGPT. I'm like, I don't know how to say this. Please help me. And then of course I pull it out and make it my voice. It's interesting too with ChatGPT. Remember the pirate example? It kind of has a voice, and that too, right? When you use ChatGPT and you ask it questions, you ask you to write an email. I'm like, wow, I would never say that. That doesn't sound like me. So it has a voice. So do you. Use your own voice. Okay. That's what I would just say about. But yeah, absolutely. I use it for writer's block all the time, which does happen. And if I could use a disclaimer, I did not use ChatGPT to write these slides. I could have. I absolutely could have told it, write me a write me a presentation on how to use AI responsibly in your job search. It would be interesting to see what it said, actually. I did see a demo at a conference that said, for coaches, are we going to get replaced? And it was interesting. ChatGPT gave all those answers I just mentioned, like at what jobs are good for majors in marketing, what industries are good, give me the top 10 companies in the world in hospitality. But then it said, please visit your career center for more information. And so it's very interesting to see that, I'm not going to get replaced just yet. So yeah, good way to use.
Okay, good. Well, I mean, we won't replace you. I mean, you bring in too many like good baked goods and stuff like that.
I hope not. Yeah, the baked goods. I mean, ChatGPT can't bake award-winning chocolate chip cookies like I can.
The blue ribbon.
A blue ribbon at the Fairfax County Fair, y'all.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. I have a direct message here for a question here. How do we schedule a career advising appointment? So I can't remember I can't remember the.
I can drop it in the chat.
Okay,
yeah, so. I'll drop the Calendly link in the chat. So I did pull the slide down so we could see each other. Please.com. Just schedule directly through my scheduling link. as opposed to emailing me. If you have a question that you don't want to bring up in front of the group, absolutely. Just email me, Lisa. I can put that in there too. Really easy, lisa.andrews@georgetown.edu.
Mm-hmm.
So you can email me, but please don't email me to schedule an appointment. I'll just refer you to my Calendly link. So
it's up to date, and anything you see on there is available, right? Okay, good.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just to clarify that point there. So yeah, and absolutely, if you're looking, I mean, we have students that have, are preparing for an interview or trying to, what is it, set goals or try to figure out what you really want to do, that type of things as well. So with our student base, it's not just learn how to write a resume. It's really
Sure.
targeted on helping you get to the career you're looking for, right?
Yeah, it's interesting, Jonathan. A lot of people come to me for a resume critique, and they are surprised when we spend I usually spend multiple, obviously, meetings with them, half-an-hour meetings, and they're often surprised when we never even talk about the resume in the first meeting, because I like to back up a couple of big steps and talk about who you are as a person, and use one of my favorite Yogi Berra quotes, one of my favorite baseball players, who once said, "If you don't know where you're going, you'll end up someplace else." He also said, "If you come to the fork in the road, take it." So, he had a lot of great yogiisms, but that one I use for coaching. You really need to know, what are you looking for before you can talk about branding documents and all that stuff. That comes a little bit later. We need to talk about who you are, what kind of lifestyle you want. Again, I'm technically a career counselor. I treat the whole person confidentially. So I like to take a big step back and just get to know you and what makes you tick and what makes you want to get up on Monday as well as Friday. So
yeah, and just to follow up to that, so sorry, I don't have my glasses on. Asna, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Is it available for current students or also for prospective students, would you?
Yeah, happy to meet with prospective students. I do it all the time. If you're sort of deciding between two certificates, or you're not sure, again, Jonathan said, pay the bills. I'm not going to sell you a certificate. If it's not right for you, it's not right for you. But I will give you suggestions about what certificates might be appropriate for you. And by the way, a degree is great. Don't get me wrong. Employers now want skills, skills. Look at job descriptions. They're loaded with skills. And by the way, job descriptions are written for people that don't exist. No one's ever going to get all the things that on that long list, but they want skills, skills, skills. And what our certificates do give you is skills. I hate to disparage my credit side colleagues, but you don't necessarily have to get a 2-year master's degree and spend all that money. You can get a certificate, get the skills, and then get out there in the workforce. So, I'm just a big proponent of degree plus certificates, stackable certificates.
Yeah.
So, and
I'll add to that.
Is a trend nationally. I'm not just saying that. That is a national trend. Look it up.
Yeah.
Employers
and
want
that,
skills and more skills. So how do you get those?
Yeah, and to add to that, so
you froze for just a second, Jonathan. Did you?
Yeah, we cut in. So 60%. I think last year it was our most recent data thing, because we updated every year. 60% of our students already have a graduate degree, so they're and a lot of our age range is like the bulk is 35, 45 into late 40s and whatnot. So a lot of people tend to have some sort of advanced degree at that point and are looking to make career change or to enhance a current skill set, even if they don't want to, let's say, become a data analyst. They want to incorporate it into their business, things like that. So
I never thought that. I mean, I tell people all the time, data is everywhere. Data is everywhere. It's in education, it's in entertainment, it's in sports, it's in finance. So finally, I was like practicing what I preached and took the data-driven decision-making certificate. And I was shocked by how much data can help me in my own career coaching practice. I was like, and just at Georgetown and elsewhere, I just was shocked. And really, it opened my eyes a lot to taking my own advice and realizing that data is everywhere. But I needed the certificate to get those skills and learn how to actually have some Google Sheets saved instead of all Word documents like I do now. So really helpful.
So I got one last thing. It's a direct message here, but if there's no other questions after this, we'll probably wrap up. So this is the final call for questions. But Simon wants to know, do we have an internship program for the certificates in AI governance compliance and cybersecurity strategy? And so since
I would
Hoya's at
say,
work is your
yeah,
your
yeah.
baby, I would
So, well, currently our Hoys at Work program, which is a project-based short-term 8-week internship, 40 hours unpaid, is for data analytics, data science, and project management. However, stay tuned. I would like to offer project-based internships for all certificates at some point. So again, stay tuned. Not right now. Great certificates to have, by the way. I'm so glad we are offering them. They're very market relevant, market driven, which is what we try to be. Forward thinking, market driven, entrepreneurial in spirit, in terms of the things we offer. So that's to be continued. So just stay tuned, I would say.
Okay, great. So we'll get to the end of this broadcast now. Lisa,
Yeah.
do you have any final thoughts you'd like to share before we wrap this up?
Yeah. As I said at the very beginning, we're kind of building the airplane as we're flying it these days with AI. It is still so new, I would say. I know people in my life were real early adopters, man. As soon as November 20th came in 2022, they were downloading it and have I use the free version still. I'm not going to pay for that stuff just yet until they make me pay. So I adopted it, I would say really about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. And I have found it to be quite helpful to me, again, for like simple things, writer's block, that kind of thing. But I have a very healthy skepticism of any technology, especially one where the rhetoric is it's going to take over our lives. Okay. So I would
Okay,
just say
great.
trust, as Ronald Reagan once said, trust but verify.
Well, great. So, I mean, my takeaway, using AI can definitely help you, but blending AI into what you already know and verifying it seems to be something that will put you at the front of most things and is very valuable to me going forward. So, I would like to thank everybody here. Let's see. Great. So some thanks coming in from the audience, and I want to thank you personally for today's knowledge at noon. Um, so AI
Yeah, my pleasure.
leveraging AI responsibly. So uh, we will record, or this recorded will be posted on our YouTube channel. And so I want to thank everyone again for attending. This has been Knowledge at Noon. So thanks, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Take care.